Okie dokies, guys. Let's come put on some whatever background music while I talk about Across the Spider-Verse. It's PG. It's for kids and family and families. It's an action film. It's almost 2.5 hours. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave this film 96%. The consensus being just as visually dazzling and action-packed as its predecessor, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse thrills from start to cliffhanger conclusion. So yeah, they kind of spoiled it there. Not much of a spoiler, but yeah, this is like there's an abrupt ending at the end of this film, which heightens anticipation for the next one. And audiences gave it a 95%, from incredible animation to a super story and tons of Easter eggs. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has everything fans could ask for. Yeah, I agree very much so with both those consensuses. Yeah, so the premise here: Miles Morales returns for the next chapter in the Oscar-winning Spider-Verse saga, an epic adventure that will transport Brooklyn's full-time, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man across the multiverse to join forces with Gwen Stacy and a new band, a team of Spider People, to face off with a villain more powerful than anything they have ever encountered. So the film is PG. For language, animated action, violence, and thematic elements. The genre: kids and family,
Have you lost
action, adventure,
Arizona
comedy,
access?
fantasy,
At
animation, and
healthcare.gov,
it
you
is
can
in
find a low cost,
English.
quality health plan.
And I'm going to turn down the ad volume here. So the film stars Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac, Jake Johnson, Issa Rae, Daniel Kaluuya, Jason Schwartzman, Brian Tyree Henry, Luna Lauren Velez, Greta Lee, Rachel Dratch, Jorma Taccone, Shea Wigham, Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers. Oh, sorry, these are I'm in the directors now. Joaquin Dos Santos and Kemp Powers and Justin K. Thompson are the directors. Three directors. Wow. Yeah, screenwriters. Written by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Kind of known for comedy animated films. Yeah. So before I go into personal thoughts about the film, see if I'm missing anything. Um, yeah, let's go into it. Yeah, guys. Or people. Y'all. This is this Spider-Verse franchise is my favorite. Well, I wouldn't say my favorite, but like it could be. I mean, these are great Spider-Man films. And great animation films. Like if you like Spider-Man and if you like animation, I don't think much can top this franchise. This is a very impressive film. And then when the ending came, because I forgot, and I knew going into it there was gonna be a cliffhanger, but like when that cliffhanger came, I was so invested in the movie, I didn't even realize like 2.5 hours has gone by. Like I want to see where this story ends. Because as much as I love the first one, Spider-Man Across the Universe, I love this one even more. Across the Spider-Verse, I was so impressed with how they expanded the story from the original film. And even though it seemed overwhelming when I was seeing it on screen, but they handled very well adding so many more characters, but still keeping it centered on Miles Morales. The emotional focus of the film, um, and yeah, the main storyline. And I want to talk about the animation real quick. And comic book films in particular. Like I think really great comic book films. I think animation really helps because that's the format that they are in, you know, with actual physical comic books. And you can just do so much more. It's easier to realize worlds, um, and characters like without filter, without boundaries. And this film totally embraces that. There's no sense that like, they're sort of trying to copy things from like the real world. Well, I don't know how to word that, but I mean like it's easy to fully realize these types of fictional universes like with this type of you know format animation, and it's done so well because the stuff that happens in this film is so bonkers, it's so crazy, it's so unique and imaginative, and it works so well in the story, like in the moment, in the scene, and the animation like really helps. And I I was just impressed with how higher the stakes are in this film. Um, how yeah, creative and imaginative, like, and making all the elements in this fictional universe so like normal or commonplace in this universe. Um, yeah, but then again, I'm 31. Like, this is a kids movie after all. So it's like, hope adults don't take this movie too seriously or try to critique it or dissect it or take it apart too much, because it's a fun film. Um, I mean, and I could like go off on like another random tangent when it comes to like, it's PG for language, animated action violence, and the thing is, there's a lot of like violence in this film, even though it is animated. So it's kind of a weird, line to draw. I think when you're like working for these rating industries and like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are used to watching people fight, and if it's animated, it seems less hostile, But it's just an interesting cultural thing I noticed when it comes to films and ratings. When there are violence in the films and what's considered what like for kids or for teens or adults or whatever. But you know, just an interesting side note. I don't really have an opinion on it really. Just interesting. But yeah, I really like this film. If you like the first one, I don't see how you cannot like this one, because I thought this one was better in like all regards, all aspects. You know. Yeah. So that's all about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So that's across the Spider Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I definitely recommend it if any of that sounded interesting to you. So until then, take it easy and peace.